Hello, good morning, Facebook friends. How are you this morning? Happy Thursday morning. I have to admit, I am a little bit extra jazzed today because I am getting ready to go attend a 3-day virtual conference. Now, that's going to be crazy in and of itself, but I'm so super excited because, so this was supposed to be a live event. It was supposed to be in Florida, in Orlando for this event, and I was excited about that. But they have completely moved it virtually, and they are pulling out all the stops, and they pulled together an amazing conference. It's called the Advanced 360 Interactive Conference, and I'm super excited about it. You know, the kind of the buzz before you walk into a conference. So perhaps you'll see a little bit of that energy today. But I'm excited. I'm nervous. I'm excited to see what the virtual reality is going to be about what we can do virtually. I mean, this whole quarantine thing has been so crazy, but it's pushed us beyond our comfort zones and help us figure out other ways that we can communicate and connect with each other. And I think that's pretty cool. So, but let's get down to business today. If you're not familiar with me, my name is Tiffany Huckelman. Hi, Nina. Welcome. I'm glad you made it. We will be answering your question today. So feel free. I'm going to be trying to watch the chat a little bit better today. So feel free to chat in there if you got any further questions or comments as we go. So my name is Tiffany Huckelman, and I am the owner and founder of Lone Orange, where we help solopreneurs attract and keep their right clients by living their authentic brand, which I love because it's getting into this idea of branding and then making sure that their client experience matches that brand. And it's exciting work to me. Can you tell? It's pretty exciting work to me. But today, here's a question for you. If you're joining me live, I see a couple of you on here. If you're joining me live, put in the comments, what do you think of when you think of brand or branding? What are the words that come to mind? It can be anything, whatever just comes to mind. One or two or three words that come to mind. Put those in the comments. What do you think of when you think of brand? Because I will tell you that there is plethora of interpretations or understandings of brand. But I'd love to hear if you're on live, put in the comments. Let's see, hopefully this is updating for me. Put in the comments what you think of when you think of brand or branding. Come on, Facebook. Come on. All right. There we go. Very good. Business personality. Awesome. Nina says business personality. Perfect. What else? Anybody else? There's a few more people on here. So if you've got an understanding, even if you come and watch this on a replay, go ahead and put that in the comments about what you think of when you think of brand. Again, it can be different for so many different people. So I'd love to hear what people are really thinking. Jamie says what you're known for. Excellent. You guys are on the right track. Good job. Gold star for both of you. Perfect. So both of those are fantastic. A lot of people also think of when I have to do branding, well, then I have to get my logo or I have to get my website or my brochures or any of that sort of thing. Branding is kind of a huge umbrella definition. So let me just for conversation today, I'm going to narrow it down and give us a very simplistic definition to work with. So brand as a noun is a particular identity or characteristic of a particular brand. Now, the common idea is that, or the more common understanding is it's an identifying mark. Maybe it's the logo, the website, the brochure, the business card, the materials, because that's the tangible that we can touch and feel and understand. And so that's the common understanding of what brand is. When we talk about branding as a verb, it's actually to give a product a distinctive identity. So it's bigger than just the look of it. That's important. And as a graphic designer, I feel that's very important. But that's important, but it's giving a distinctive identity. And that identity is multi-dimensional, it's multi-level, but it's also very distinct. So we need to understand that there is a difference because I've heard people talk about, I need to get my brand in order, or I need to do branding. Sometimes I've heard I need to do branding even in terms of I just want to get my brand out there. I need to do tactics to get it out there. But the work that I do with my clients is really about giving your business a distinctive identity and figuring out what that distinctive identity is. Now, I want to tattle on myself a little bit here. When I started my business 10 years ago, I started off as a virtual assistant, and the first thing I wanted was a logo. Now, I was a graphic designer, so I thought that should be easy, right? But it actually turned out to be really difficult because I didn't have an identity yet. I hadn't done the thought process to figure out who I was, how I wanted to communicate to the world, or who I wanted to attract. I actually found, just for fun, I actually found my old business cards from my very first company. I don't know if you can see those. It was called Avail Virtual, and it was just a simple little A, red A with a little kind of curly V. Here's my name badge. So um, walk down memory lane a little bit. So it was a nice logo. Like it was pretty. It was polished. It was professional, but it didn't communicate anything. It didn't hurt the business necessarily, but it certainly didn't help because it wasn't communicating anything because I didn't know what to communicate. I didn't know who I was yet. I still had to figure that out. And in fact, 2 years later, I completely rebranded to become Lone Orange. So, um, I had the polished, professional, and attractive logo and materials, and that was the basics. It didn't undermine it. There are some logos and visual identities that can actually undermine your business because if it looks old or outdated, if it's not well done, if it looks like clip art, if it just doesn't look attractive, that can actually hurt your business. And that's a conversation for another day, but that can actually hurt your business. So we want to make sure that we're communicating who we are through that identity. And that's what the work of branding is. So having this did fine, but it didn't help. It because it didn't communicate. It did nothing for me other than look pretty on my business card. And I did. I mean, it was still pretty. I still enjoy the aesthetics of it, but it doesn't tell me anything about my company. And I had a good business going for 2 years with this identity. Um, but I had a so-so brand. What really helped me when I rebranded as Lone Orange, I really took the time to figure out my identity and all that goes into it because it's so much more than just one little component. So it's everything that goes into understanding your brand. So what are the things that go into a brand? Well, um, first understanding your motivation, your why, like what's that deeper drive? Why are you doing this work? Why are you serving people in this way? What is that deeper motivation? That's important for you to understand. One, because a lot of times we don't realize it. We don't know really what our motivation is. And so it's a powerful thing to really dig in and discover what that is. Another part of your brand is understanding your core values. These are the things that are going to guide your business, guide your decisions, guide your behavior. These are important to understand. Your company, your brand personality. So just like Nina said, your brand personality is a big part of it, but just one part. It is the part that people experience of you. So just like each person has a very unique personality, every business has a unique personality too. So making sure that you know what that personality is. Here's the thing is people, we kind of are born with at least a lot of our personality. We can certainly work on things, but a lot of it we're just born with. So, but for your business, you can create it. You can craft it. You can mold it into what you want. And that is kind of cool. So let's see, the other parts that go into branding. Who do you best serve? What makes you different? And what problem do you solve for those people that you best serve? And when I talk about people you serve, your ideal client or your target audience, I want to know about the people who you can best help, you enjoy helping, and who are going to be most profitable. And profit does not need to be a bad word, but who's going to pay you for what you're worth because they value what you offer. So understanding all of this is the work of branding. And and this is all the at least the first part of the work that I do in the scale your brand method with clients. And when clients go through this and get this, it opens up whole new worlds for them. It gives them guidance on the directions to go, on how to proceed, on decisions to make, on things to say no to. It gives confidence and presence. Like, you know what? It just feels like when you're confident in your own skin and you know that you know that you know what you're doing is the right thing. That's what doing this work does for your business. So that you can, as a business owner, and as growing your business, scaling your business, you have that presence, that confidence, because you know who you are deep down. All of this is your brand. And you get there by doing the branding work. Now, notice I didn't say logo. The logo is just a communication tool of your brand. But doing the branding work is digging in and crafting who this business is. So, to answer Nina's original question, I will never say don't start a business because you don't have your branding figured out. Like, I would prefer to see you get into imperfect action and at least be moving forward and not be stalled by, oh, I need my brand. And that's two parts. So, because technically, you can start without anything. And there's stories all over the place of people who really had nothing and started their business. But if the question is, can I start my business without my logo or my website or my business card? Sure. So you can start without that. I had a logo and business card, and it looked good, but it um, but it didn't necessarily communicate anything. What I would suggest is if you feel like you really want a logo, doing a logo correctly with a professional designer who can help you communicate visually what you're trying to communicate through your brand can be expensive. And if it's done well and done right, it can be expensive. So I want you to know that if you don't have that kind of funds because you're starting up, at least get something that looks good and looks polished and professional. And not that I'm a big fan, but there are some free, not free, but inexpensive options to get a logo that at least looks polished and professional until you can do the branding work. So you at least look good going into your business until you figure out really what that identity is. It took me a couple years before I started to have a sense of my own identity. So know that that's okay. So you can start without a logo or a visual identity. If the question is, can you start your business without doing the branding work? Then yes, again, you can, but the, the sooner you do it is the better. Because the sooner that you can dig in and ask these questions and get these answers and craft this brand for your business, the better, the stronger your company is going to be. The more successful it can be because you are guided with substance and not just kind of fluffy, feel good, what's next kind of thing. So as soon as you can get into this work in a deep manner, the better for your business. So Nina, I hope that helps to answer your question, maybe a little bit deeper than you were thinking, but if you've got comments, I'm going to see if I can refresh here. If you've got comments or other questions, anybody else who is here live, please feel free to put those in the comments. So we're talking about, and I would also invite you to share this video. I would really appreciate sharing. It's amazing what that does for a Facebook video, but I would be very grateful if you could share that. So doing this branding work is so important to your business. To me, it's the foundation. And like I said, yes, you can move forward without that, but don't forget to come back and fortify that foundation because eventually without it, you will crumble. So you need it at some point, and you need to spend some time and really invest yourself into figuring this out. So I would invite you to think about this a little bit deeper. And I've mentioned this before, but I've created the Brand Insights quiz that will give you, it's a quick, fun, 5-minute, probably less than 5-minute quiz that you can answer a few questions, and instantly in your inbox you will get an analysis of your brand. and kind of where your strengths and weaknesses are. And then it's going to give you some questions to ask yourself to help you dig into this work. Mary, good to see you here. Thanks for joining us. So I'm just going to invite everybody here that's live or anybody here that is watching on a replay. Again, if you're watching replay, type that in the comments. I want to know that you watched it and enjoyed it. But I would invite you guys to take the Brand Insights quiz. Again, quick, fun, but it gives you so much insights. That's the name about your brand and where you could be focusing on right now. Go take it right now. The comment or the link is in the description of this video. Go take it right now, and I will look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye-bye.